I wrote on June 1st, and I was told I would get a response, and I haven't gotten one yet.
June 1st for what?
I wrote about a Judicial Review Counsel. I have filed over 30 complaints about judges.
Who is this?
John Flynn is my name.
Okay, John, hold on.
Why?
My director's here, hold on.
What's the problem?
Thank you for calling. We will return to take your call in just one moment.
This is the Judicial Review Counsel. Let's bring it up online, huh?
John?
Yeah.
My director...
Hi, Mr. Flynn, Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many things,
Okay, so you're...
but I have not heard from you, which you told me you would contact me, so I'm worried.
Oh, don't worry, I'm okay, so you don't have to worry about me. So here's the question. One of the things we talked about the last time was you said you filed complaints in the past.
Yes, 30 or more. Now, right now, I'm in a huge problem about murder. It's gigantic. It's worse than George Floyd. This kid was tortured to death. It happened 18 months ago. I have the video. The cops said no tasers were used. It's a bold-faced lie. If you watch the video, it's clear. They're yelling, taser, taser, taser. I got him in the back. And then the state's attorney said no tasers were used. Really? This is worse than George Floyd? This was a kid who was innocent? He was a college kid working at Boston Market at night?
Where did this happen?
Stamford, 131 West Avenue.
All right, so because you filed complaints here, you have experience and you're wise enough to understand.
No, I'm understanding that you guys are just burying the damn things.
No, when you say you guys, I have a specific job. It's like
You would. I was promised a response on June 1st. Okay, it's not your fault. You look like an honorable guy. I mean, you look like a family, honorable, ethical guy.
Well, we haven't met, so you really haven't met me. But listen, let me make a point, and then you can come back and you can tell me how you feel. It's like if you got a house built, and the plumber screwed up, and then you start calling the electrician. So I handle complaints against judges. You know that's what we do. If you have a complaint against a judge...
I have a complaint against Judge Provader that's 10 years old. He was working for Malloy for 10 years when Malloy was mayor. Provader was counsel to the city of Stamford. Okay, then when Malloy became a judge, when Malloy became governor, he made him a judge. He's made over 50 biased decisions in a row. I asked for 911 calls for a murder. Okay? He denied them. Then when he gave us subpoenas, right? He claims he gave me subpoenas. They were given to Larrabee, who worked for Malloy as well. And Provader worked for Larrabee, chief of police of Stamford. They sent a hitman to kill me. I fought him for 2.5 hours. The hitman said he was working for the chief of police, who was Larrabee. Okay? I called 911. I went to trial. They wouldn't play I was denied a jury. No depositions were allowed. No cross-examination. No witnesses. No nothing. So here I am, sitting there. This has happened to me with Judge Heller, with Judge Jacobs, with Judge Adams. Judge Adams was a partner at Kelly Dry, Bank America's attorney. I've got 1,239 cashed, stolen checks. Some of them are for $250,000 to his law firm where he's a partner. Yeah, I got problems with the files. They're missing, correct? You couldn't find them.
No, we have. So it's funny you're talking about this. So we have a history of some of your former complaints.
And they were never answered.
Well, hold on.
How about you guys owe me $100 million? That's what you owe me. That's close. That's how much money's missing. Okay? Because of Congressman Jim Himes.
I gotta hold you. When you say you guys, are you saying I do, or what we do here, or are you saying the state?
Did you read my complaint that I filed with the State Banking Commission? It's 105 pages. Did you read it? Because one of the complaints is about that.
I think I actually did take a look at that, but hold on.
Okay, so what does it allege? Wire fraud, check fraud, accounting fraud, securities fraud. Where are those stock certificates?
So I'm looking at a complaint that you made against Judge Kenneth
Provider. That's one of them, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, he worked for Malloy. I sued Malloy. He heard the case. The defendant was appointed by the judge. Malloy appointed Provider. I sued Malloy, and Provider heard the case. Are you joking me? They worked together for 10 years. He was counsel to the city of Stamford for 20 years. He covered up more murders than you can count. And now they're involved in another murder. This kid I'm talking about, who was tasered to death, occurred in Stamford. Stamford is a cesspool. You guys know it. I have the evidence. McCozzi's involved. You guys are covering up for McCozzi? He was Thomas Cummings' partner. Thomas Cummings had sex with 7 boys. I wrote a complaint about that. Okay? Yeah. The state's attorney botched the indictment. And McCozzi was Cummings' partner who investigated Cummings for Colangelo. Excuse me? And then, you don't know the boys. You don't know the boys. Okay? I know the boys. You guys have screwed up so many cases. I can't even count them all. I could talk to you for 5 hours and I wouldn't be finished. Did you see the recent one on Quentin Yonkers?
No.
Okay. He's a New Canaan boy, okay? He's 23. He was in my son's grade. He was in my son's class. They were Boy Scouts together. He's an innocent, simple kid. Innocent, friendly, lovely family. The father's lovely. The mother's lovely. The brother's lovely. And guess what? The mom's having open heart surgery. He was just indicted for child porn. When in fact, your teachers, like Colin Hostin, charge of the BOE in Norwalk, where Quentin Yonkers went to school, you know, he's a Rainbow Coalition gay guy trying to get influence on young boys, and you guys are allowing it. This is your whole modus operandi. Let's get a gay guy in charge of the BOE in Norwalk, influencing the kids. Yeah, I witnessed it. I went on the camp. I spoke to this kid for so long over he's innocent, okay? Now, when you go and look at the case, the prosecutor gave him a $250,000 bond, okay? The last 4 state troopers that got arrested for having child porn got a $2,500 bond. Can you explain that? No, you can't. It's criminal what you're doing. We had 400 human traffickers arrested between 2006 and 2016, a 10-year period. No prosecutions. 0 prosecutions. 400 human traffickers arrested in a 10-year period. And you're going after Colin Hostin? I mean, you're going after Quentin Yonkers, who's 23, recently graduated college, for having stuff on his computer? Are you aware that Pegasus spy software enables people to plant pedophile pictures on your computer without you ever opening a file? Did you know Jim Himes is in charge of that? Yeah. While the FBI in Connecticut used... James Comey ran the FBI in Connecticut. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay. He was brought down there to surveil a sitting president, falsify the Hillary Clinton email and get investigation, falsify the Clinton Global Initiative investigation, and Benghazi. I mean, you could go on and on about how many things she did, because he went down there and he was the biggest criminal of all time. I've been to the FBI 100 times. I've been reporting this crap to the FBI. They've been lying to me, and I've been recording it. Okay? I got 100 recordings. More. I got 62 recordings of one Norwalk detective falsifying evidence. Falsifying and destroying evidence. Check fraud, wire fraud, money laundering. Why haven't you arrested this guy, Detective Maloney? Why hasn't he been arrested? He's part of the complaint I filed. You know, you can tell me, oh, are you accusing me? No, I'm not accusing you. I've never spoken to you before, and you've never gotten back to me. No one has. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, there are some serious things going on. This kid was tortured that I'm talking about, Stephen Barrier. You know what the father's saying? Oh, let me tell you. He's calling me. He's saying that he went to meetings with Colangelo. Meanwhile, Colangelo was a defendant, and the father was a plaintiff. The mother was a plaintiff, and Colangelo was a defendant. He's saying defendant Colangelo pressured him, tried to bribe him, tried to pay him $7 million to accept the destruction of the TASER evidence that I was talking about, that I've seen, okay? Now, the police are all saying tasers weren't used. Tasers weren't used. Okay? However, Sean Bogger in the Stanford Police Department was in charge of it, and he admitted to me that a taser was used. So here I go. I went to report it to the police department. They knocked out my front tooth. Really? The same cops. Kilcoyne, Collins. You know their names. I just don't know who number 5 and 6 are. I know who 1, 2, 3, and 4 are, but 5 and 6, you realize they killed the kid at 1:30, and they went back at 5:29 to stage the body cams with an actor. Did you know that? They're falsifying body cam evidence. I've complained about it. It's in my complaint that I filed with the court. And how the hell did it get dismissed? I've over 200 cases dismissed. Do you realize, I think we've had 4 trials out of 350 cases I filed? Really? Really? Okay, so when you look at something separate, right? Look at something separate, like the claims commissioner, right? They dismissed 99% of those cases. Have you read those cases?
No.
Oh, well, you should, because it's criminal. A kid goes to a school, there's an after-school program, there's no teacher in charge. There's only students, no teacher. Kid climbs on a jungle gym, knocks his front teeth out. What happens? The school had no insurance. Can you honestly tell me that if a parent filed a lawsuit saying, hey, we thought our kid was supervised in the after-school program, they didn't have the money to fix his teeth, so he grew. Since they waited so long to fix his teeth, it took like 9 operations. So you tell me how the state didn't create a liability by not taking that kid to the hospital and waiting 45 minutes to call the ambulance. They waited 45 minutes to call the ambulance because there was no teacher on duty in an after-school program. Can you believe that? It's negligence, okay? Straight and simple. Criminal liability by refusing them any assistance. They couldn't afford what happened to them. I went to the hearings. I filed many cases with the claims commissioner. All were dismissed. I filed 60 appeals so far, 62 appeals with the court. Guess what? All. I've never heard from any of them. 62 appeals, no answer. I have 32 complaints with Mike Bowler at the statewide grievance council. Did you know that? I gave him 45 pounds of evidence. No callback. No hearing. Ever. Huh? 10 attorneys that I don't know have claimed to be my attorney. 10. Mark Gregory. Okay, you want me to go down the list? Delphine Knight Brown claimed to be my attorney. I never spoken to her. Okay, James Moriarty. Where are the answers? You say, oh, I'll get back to you. You know, you found 3 things out of 30. That means you have someone on your staff throwing them out. Or you guys collectively agreed that I would never get a... Who did you replace? I forget the guy's name.
Scott Murphy.
Yeah, Scott Murphy. Do you have his recorded messages by me?
I didn't hear what you said there.
Scott Murphy has never called me. I have left him messages just like I left you messages. Huh?
Okay, slow down, because I've talked to you on a few occasions.
Yeah, this is maybe our 3rd.
Okay, I just want to point a couple of things out to you. I listened to you there for a long time, very patient. So, I want to send you, there's a couple things that were sent to you.
I'm going to get on a national stage and call you guys out.
Okay?
Okay, so you need to fix this thing. I know it's very difficult, seeing that you're the new quarterback.
No, I've been around for a while now. I've been here for a few months. I'm starting to get, used to what we do here. But would you just listen to me for a second, please?
Yeah, sorry.
I tell you. So here's what Mr. Murphy sent to you in the back. Per your request, here is enclosed. You'll find your Judicial Review Counsel complaint. So Mr. Murphy sent you the complaint because you requested it.
When?
And it said, please be specific as to the factual allegations.
When?
Name the judge. So there's a couple letters he sent. So all I can tell you is this. If you know how to get the complaint form, it's on our site. If you want to make a complaint against a specific judge...
Excuse me. I've done this 30 times already.
Not when I'm here, you haven't. I'm waiting for a complaint against the judge.
I filed a complaint recently. Did you send it somewhere else?
I didn't send it anywhere else.
You don't even have a record of obviously they all know my name, okay? They all know my name because I've been calling monthly for a very long time, or quarterly at worst. I mean, yes, a lot of my complaints are from 2012, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, that means they're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. But I still have no response. Huh?
You have a complaint now that you want to make against the judge.
I already filed it.
Who is it?
Who's
the judge you're talking to?
Was it Crumrich?
It may have been. And when do you
Yeah.
this?
It was Crumrich.
All right, we're going to look it up.
Hold on a second. This kid was tasered to death on video, and I have it. And the judge dismissed the case. Are you insane? I'm not insane. If that was my kid, holy mackerel.
We have your complaint. You didn't submit something to a complaint. We acknowledge your receipt of your complaint. Your complaint will be presented to the council.
When? I want a hearing. I want to see these people. I want to bring the father. You know what he said? Colangelo took a bribe. That's what he said. He said, hello, I was offered $7 million and refused it because I want the cops prosecuted. Here's the video, Johnny, of them killing my son. Really? Really?
I had a specific question for you. And
By the way, the father says Chief Winneman in Stamford, who recently retired, of course, saw the video, and so did Richard Colangelo. He says that Richard Colangelo saw the video shown to him by Mike Jefferson, who works for Ben Crump. Obviously, you know who Ben Crump is, right?
Who is that?
Ben Crump. Ben Crump is Aubrey's attorney, George Floyd's attorney.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. He's the biggest attorney in the country. He handled 265 murders of black youths, and he shook a lot of people down for $5 million each, but some of them got as high as $35 million, and he got a payment, okay, from the state, and I want a copy of it. I want a copy of the request by Richard Colangelo to pay a $30 million bribe that turned out to be an executive order when the General Assembly was closed to cover up a TASER death of a boy who was actually tortured.
So here's the thing. I'm looking at.
Okay. By the way, I'm recording.
If you want to get.
I have to record this from here on in.
Okay. So listen. If you want to get information.
No, if you don't comply with my requests, I am telling you, I want the video. I want McCozzi's investigation. I want McCozzi's investigation. Do you know who McCozzi is?
There's a Freedom of Information Act.
I filed over 30 already. I've never gotten an answer. Over 30. That means you just throw them in the garbage.
Okay, but when you say you're not talking to me or what we do here. So I'm going to just...
All I have to say is I have a television program asking me to go on national television about this story, and I'm going to do it.
All right, well, see, if you want to go on TV, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do and not to do. But listen, I want to just make this point with you, and then I've got to go because I've been on the phone with you for a while. I listened to what you
Yeah,
have to
22 minutes.
Here's what Mr. Murphy says.
Whatever he said makes no difference because I got nothing from you guys, and whatever he fabricated, I don't really care about. Okay? I do care about this. Hold on. One last thing. I'll let you go.
Okay.
I owned a brokerage firm. I got a call from East Haven saying, go to the brokerage firm tomorrow. This was on a Friday. They said, go in the morning tomorrow. I said I would. I went there, and I confronted a confidential informant with an axe who tried to kill me for 2 hours. I called 911 30 times. 30. Okay? I didn't get the 911 calls when we thought a subpoena was sent. Oh no, that was all bullshit. Okay? When you get down to the facts, it took years before I got the audio. When another cop resigned from East Haven, they felt sorry for us. The state, sent a confidential informant to kill me with an axe. And I brought it to the attention of 5 judges. And you know what? When I got the 911 calls, none of the judges would allow me to play them to a jury. Can you explain that to me? And by the way, the guy sent to kill me, right? He was sent to kill a guy named Dealey, who was a cop, an honest cop, and he was also the same killer, Richard Filippelli. He's a killer, okay? He was sent to kill a cop named Lamb, okay? So Dealey, Lamb, and I had contracts put out on us by the local police commissioner. Hello. And guess what? Larrabee was chief in East Haven, right? When they put a hit on me. My office was in East Haven. And Larrabee was chief of Stamford when I had 1,200 stolen checks cashed. So what they did was they moved Larrabee from chief of Stamford to chief of East Haven to actually kill me. So I say to myself, how can the judges deny us subpoenas? Or, by the way, my last 100 fee waivers were denied. Did you know that?
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, well, here we go. I'm worth minus 100 million. minus 100 million. Okay? So if I don't qualify, nobody does.
All right.
All right, so I want to file next that every judge that denied me a fee waiver robbed me of a civil right to due process.
Okay, so has this happened in the last year in 90?
Oh yeah, it happened 5 times this year, at least, maybe 10.
So then you file a complaint against the judge that you feel has violated your civil rights.
And what happens? It goes in the garbage.
No, it doesn't go in the garbage.
It's gone in the garbage every single time. And you expect, let me explain something. To think there's a different outcome when you do the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. That means you're insane, okay?
I've heard that before. So
Right.
Listen, I want to just tell you.
You haven't called me in 3 months after you said you would.
All right, so I have called you before. We did speak.
No, I called you. I called you. You didn't call me. I called you. I spoke to your very nice assistant, and they said, oh yeah, I seem to recall this guy's name. Really. But we can't find the documents.
Are you going to listen to me for a second now? Because I've listened to you. So give me the courtesy of that. Here's your complaint against Judge Crimmage.
Oh, you found it. Now you're admitting the name of the judge of the last complaint. When you were like, oh, you remember the name of that? Oh, I want to test your memory. And you had it all along. So you're just as bad as these guys.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Doesn't that make sense?
I
Oh, Johnny, I do have your Kremrich complaint. Really? How old is it? How old is it? What's the date of it?
Okay, this complaint, and the decision was,
I got no decision, ever.
yeah, we sent you,
We can check your address that we sent it to. It's the same address that you put on the complaint form. Would you like us to read the address we sent it to you to?
I've already asked you 3 times. Want me to ask again?
I don't know what you asked. I think you should let.
I asked you what the date was.
okay, so,
By the way, my office is at 9 Ledge Road, Rowayton. My house is at 31 Quintard. I don't know what address you have. And you never told me.
we've talked about this before. We have 27 Quintard.
That's my old address.
Well, you need to update with us.
I write you all the time. Hello.
Sir,
You have no one person on your staff that has ever sent me an email. Never.
We sent you a letter October 22nd to let you know that we received your complaint, and that was at 27 Quinard Avenue. That's what was on the complaint.
Okay, I have not lived there in a very long time. Okay,
Okay, we sent
over a
it
year.
October 22nd, and that was your address on the complaint form.
October 22nd is a year ago.
Okay, we're talking about the complaint against Judge Crimmage, which you are questioning, and we do not.
I want him arrested. Okay?
Well, we don't, that's...
Why? This is conspiracy to commit murder and cover up evidence. This is obstruction. This is racketeering. Racketeering. You want to go down with the ship? Continue. The ship's going down.
All right, so do what you have to do. Make the complaints, but if you're going to make a complaint about a judge, you know the form. You're saying that your new address is not...
To tell me that I haven't filed the right form? Have I filed the wrong form?
You haven't filed any complaint against a judge recently that I've got.
You said you had Kremrich in your hand.
Yeah, but that was disposed of. That was Mr. Murphy. Send it back.
I have nothing from him. Disposed for what? For what reason? How can you dispose something
I'm going to read off...
about a murder?
Okay, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're talking about what he's... Let me tell you what he said, because you made similar complaints in the complaint against Judge Crimmage, the one he dismissed. And here's what Mr. Murphy says finally.
Mr. Murphy should be in jail, and you should go after him. Yeah, it's not funny. Actually, it's not funny. When you see the video, you won't be laughing. Huh?
Why should I be in jail?
I said Murphy should be in jail.
You said you should go in after him. Why did you say that?
Because you're trying to read me a letter I've never gotten because you have the wrong address.
Interpretation of these allegations would be beyond the jurisdiction of the Judicial Review Counsel. So you had made a complaint.
Oh, it's beyond your jurisdiction? Then who would it be? Whose jurisdiction is it?
You allege, this is what you allege. You allege the conspiracy have existed between the police, the state's attorney, the medical examiner.
Yeah? Fact. Hey, by the way, have you read the autopsy? No bruising. Did you see the body? He has no forehead. Zero.
So listen,
No forehead. They dragged him on his head. On the street.
Listen, Mr. Flynn, I don't know anything about the...
By the way, well, here you go. You dismiss something without ever looking at the evidence because you never gave a crap.
I haven't seen the evidence. Are you telling me what it is?
Well, guess who's seen the evidence? The state's attorney, who says no tasers were used. That's false, because Ben Crump saw the taser evidence, and so did Mike Jefferson, and so did the Baptist priest, Father Ford. So did 8 people other than that. Meredith saw it, Elizabeth Greenwood, me.
That's a lot of
30 people at the church saw it. 30 people at the church saw it. Hello. And the father saw it. The brother saw it. The sister saw it. The other sister saw it. The mother is having emotional distress over watching it. And by the way, the mother took $7 million. The father rejected $7 million. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, well, why is the state of Connecticut paying bribes? Hello, why is the state of Connecticut paying bribes to destroy murder evidence of 6 cops who falsified their body cams?
All right, Mr. Flynn, I've listened to you for a long time now.
Good.
I have other work to do. I can see you're upset.
I can see that you have a lot of work to do.
No, when you send your complaint in, make sure you put your new address, because the complaint that we received on October 22nd, 2020 had 27...
All right, well, I got to sue that guy.
File another complaint. Make sure you have the right address on it. When we get your complaint, we'll send you a notification if you indeed...
Now, where are the other 30?
We don't...
You admitted to me that you had 3 of them. Now you're saying you only have 1.
We didn't say that, sir. You're changing what we're saying.
All right, well, let's...
Oh, hold on. I recorded that too. Last time we spoke, you had 3.
Okay, listen, you can record what you want. I have to go now. I have to do other work.
Okay, you seem reasonable, but I'm telling you right now, telling me what you're saying. Oh, file another one. Really? You know why though? Let me just make a hypothetical thing. You know why there's shootings across the United States? Every major city, like Chicago, had 54 last Saturday. Do you know why? Because the prosecutors, like Kim Fox, okay, don't prosecute murderers, and our state senators are releasing them all after their history of violence. And then you expect me, okay, to take a risk by doing something, expecting that the state would have your back, when in fact they're actually inciting the activity. Like I said, 400 human traffickers arrested, no prosecutions. And I turn around and say, there's evidence of a murder here, and you guys dismiss it.
Okay, so listen, I'm not telling you to file a complaint or not file a complaint, but if you do...
Okay, does this recording I just made justify me personally going out and arresting these people myself? Since you guys haven't got the brain power. Huh?
I don't arrest people, the police do.
No. Everyone has a right, according to the Constitution, to enforce the Constitution, okay? That's what it says in the Constitution.
I would go to the police before I try to do
Right, and then when the police are the guys doing the murdering, then what?
All right, no, not yet. So, Mr. Flynn, I have to go.
Okay. Gee.
Any correspondence you send here about a complaint, you'll hear from us within 5 days. We have that statutory request.
Excuse me. I've never heard back from you. I've filed 30, and you are required to find them Because when I go through my computers, I have a new computer every year. I have my 2001 computer, okay? And in it, I filed a claim with your office. The first one was in 2001.
All right, Mr. Flynn, I do have to go now. I'm sorry that I can't be answering.
All right. Well, you know what? You really were. You seem to be a stand-up guy, but I'm telling you right now, telling me to do the same thing over and over again is insane.
All right, good. I hope you have a good rest of the day, Mr. Flynn. Thank you.
Okay.